Yeah, we back. Now, today's going to be a quick video. Today we have a case study entitled How an Anti-African Grifter is Created from the YouTube Algorithm. Now, before we get started, I want to give you the definition of a grifter from the dictionary, right? A grifter, when you go to the dictionary, it says grifting means to engage in small scale hustling, right? Low level, swindling. Basically, when you go to the train station and you see them guys hustling, trying to make $1 on the side of the road, right? Or basically, if I myself were to dress up like a homeless person and stand on the street corner and try to scam people for dollars, right? That's grifting, in the original sense. But when it comes to media and social commentary, we also have grifters in this arena as well, right? We have guys who on Monday, they're saying one thing, and then on Thursday, they're saying something completely different because that might be what is profitable at the moment. That is what's hot at the moment, right? For example, when Trump first came to power during his first term, you saw a rise of black conservatives, right? The black conservative economy. It was very profitable to be a black man or a black woman. Throw that red cap on your head and start saying, man, look at these black folk. Man, it was a lot of money in that. And there's still a lot of money in that. We have a lot of individuals in the black conservative economy. I'm not going to name no names. Man, these guys are shameless. But that is a very profitable grift, right? But also we have what is called the anti-African grift, right? Very profitable. The algorithm, for whatever reason, it rewards that type of content. So today we're going to go to a case study, a gentleman by the name of Ant CEO, right? Up and coming YouTuber, content creator, right? We're going to go take a look at the brother today. And he's definitely what I call a grifter, right? An anti-African grifter. He saw a glitch in the algorithm and he has been banging, like a piggy bank breaking for the dollars. But anyways, I'm going to get into this clip in one of his recent videos where he was so-called, I'm calling out the Pan-Africanists. Now, keep in mind, when you go down his catalog and you look at his content, how his content has evolved over time, back then he was, as always, like the rest of these guys, on the red pill, fake Kevin Samuels, knockoff 99-cent store Kevin Samuels. Oh, this why the single mothers and this and that, and this why the black women this and that. And that's, listen, these guys always have the same evolution, right? I'm talking about relationships. I'm talking about, how to get a woman. I'm being a pickup artist. And then I'm a political strategist, right? Anyway, let's continue. I'm gonna jump into the clip from today where Ant CEO, he's calling out the Pan-Africanists. And as one of the chief Pan-Africanists in the YouTube space, I'm gonna respond to this goofy. Now let's continue. Run the clip.
Again, where's the Pan-Africanism?
I said the same exact thing when I made a video speaking about how the Ghanaians are kicking out the Nigerians. Same thing when I made a video about how the South Africans is kicking out the Nigerians. You don't hear Pan-Africanism talking about none of this shit. And it's so crazy because those two videos are like my two most watched videos. Or they in the top 3 like most watched videos, both of them. When I made the videos talking about the Ghanaians and the South Africans kicking out the Nigerians, you don't hear the Pan-Africanisms, you don't hear Pan-Africans saying nothing. You don't hear them saying shit about none of it. They not talking about no motherfucking xenophobia. They not making those long form videos talking about how these people hate their own. You don't hear no self-hatred videos, none of that. You don't hear nothing. You won't hear an ounce from none of them Pan-Africanist people.
All right, we back. Now, I'm going to respond to Ant CEO because he says you don't ever hear the Pan-Africanisms call out the South Africans or whoever else, right? Now, first of all, who is he talking about, right? They love making these sweeping comments, the Pan-Africanisms. Who's the Pan-Africanisms, bro? Name them. Talk about them. Call them out, because I'm going to call you out. Now, I know he ain't talking about me because back in 2023, almost 2 years ago, I had a video entitled, The Black South Africans Are Starting Their Own FBA Movement. That was a 30-minute video. He says, you don't ever hear the Pan-Africanisms make these long-form content videos calling out the South Africans when they talking about the Nigerians. What? But when you're a grifter and a charlatan doing it for clicks and views, you just make these sweeping comments. You don't ever hear the Pan-Africanisms, the Pan-Africanists. Who are you talking about, bro? Because I know you ain't talking about me, right? Because check it out. Take a look up on the screen. Back in August 2024, right? I said the South Africans are defending a white woman winning Miss South Africa. That video also 30 minutes, right? Those two videos by themselves over an hour, banging on the South Africans, right? Because they're engaged in the same ignorance as you are. You think we make exceptions on this side when it comes to Pan-Africanism? No, you're not that special. We throw you in the same pot and we go at every single one of y'all 100%. But as usual, right, like the rest of you charlatan grifters, you make all these false statements that cannot be verified. The Pan-Africanist said this, the Pan-Africanist did that, making up fake history and fake incidents that never occurred. A bunch of charlatan, a bunch of fraudulent bastards. And listen, that's the reality. That's why we got to keep debunking y'all every chance we get. Take a look up on the screen. October 2024, I put out a video. The white South Africans push division to keep black South Africans distracted from power. That video, 20 minutes long. In that video, I actually exposed how there were certain oligarch families in South Africa, right? Certain big businessmen in South Africa that have made contributions to certain political parties and certain political initiatives that push so-called, we got to keep the black foreigners out of the country. And I followed the money trail, and I went up to the money trail, and it went back to certain oligarch families in South Africa. It went back to the beneficiaries of the apartheid regime. And we found out that there are certain individuals behind the scenes, behind the curtain, that actually have a vested interest in this so-called African versus African division that you see happening in South Africa, right? So if you think that Pan-Africanists are not having these conversations, what Pan-Africanists are you listening to? Take a look up on the screen. October 2024, I put out a video. White South Africans opening doors for white immigrants, right? So I pointed out how while the black South Africans are engaging in xenophobia, I'm a foundational South African. Meanwhile, the white South Africans are opening doors for the Israelis and the Ukrainians and the British and everybody else. All they white brothers come to the country, bro, right? Meanwhile, the black South Africans going back and forth with the Nigerians and this, that, and the third. And of course, it does not pertain to all South Africans, right? All black South Africans, because I have many brothers from South Africa that follow my channel, show love to the channel. So obviously every black South African is not a xenophobic bonehead, right? But those who engage in that behavior, that is who we talk about. And then he went on to say, oh, the Ghanaians and the Nigerians. I put out a video last week entitled Ghana versus Nigeria, Pan-Africanism defeats xenophobia, because the president himself came out and put out a statement of condemnation against any rhetoric that would be deemed xenophobic, right? Take a look up on the screen. The Ghanaian government has issued a warning against anti-Nigerian protests in the country, calling on citizens to reject divisive rhetoric and reaffirming its commitment to maintaining peaceful and historic ties with Nigeria. And then the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs from Nigeria came out and said that the only battle between Nigeria and Ghana is the Jollof battle, right? So that's what the government officials said themselves, right? But when you're a charlatan grifter, when you're chasing the bag off the algorithm, you don't want to show that side of the game. I understand, because you're a charlatan grifter. We're going to get on you in a second. Now, when you go back down this man's catalog and you look at his evolution as a so-called social commentator, content creator, right? You see videos like this from last year. Single mom wants a successful man to wait till marriage for sex, right? 600 views, garbage, right? A woman wants to know why men and women can't be 50-50, right? Look at this garbage. Look at these garbage topic this man was trying to grift. The fake Kevin Samuels grift, 300 views, trash, right? Can a woman's career take over her reality, right? We talking about the women, the career women versus the stay-at-home women. A bunch of garbage commentary. 200 views, garbage. A woman wants to know why don't men want to commit, right? This is the type of low-level garbage he was putting out when he came on YouTube. This man did not come on YouTube talking about African this and the Pan-African that. No, that came way later once he figured out the grift. But this was the original grift, right? Everybody was trying to be the next Kevin Samuels. Everybody was trying to tell the black woman what she needed to do, right? That was the grift for a minute. I'm not gonna lie. Kevin Samuels made millions off that grift, boy. Listen, Kevin Samuels made so much goddamn money so fast that it created a bunch of guys. It's human nature. You want to also, get a piece of the action, but not gonna lie, Kevin Samuels, he made millions of dollars. Kevin Samuels made millions of dollars, man. Millions of dollars. Before he died, millions of dollars. Anyway, let's continue. 2 deal breaker questions to ask a potential wife, right? 400 views. She will not give up the sex, but wants her man to stay. 700 views, right? You see, he was trying to be the next, KS, the next Kevin Samuels, but it wasn't working, right? 400 views, 200 views, wasn't nobody tuning in, right? Take a look up on the screen. She thinks a woman should be focused on being single. 300 views, right? A 25-year-old single mom of 2 wants a man with 6 kids and 5 baby mama. 200 views, right? The single mom this, the single mother this. That was the grift. The single mother economy, the single mother grift, right? That was a little grift for a little minute too. Talking about the black single mother, right? 8 months pregnant woman wants advice on her jailbird, homeless, whatever. 300 views, right? The career-driven woman destroys the relationship. 100 views. Listen, he was trying to be the next Kevin Samuels, right? I'm the next Casanova. I'm gonna tell you what to do in these relationships. Like I said, man, a lot of these guys was banging on that grift, man. A lot of these guys really thought they had all the answers to relationships, black relationships. They really thought they had the keys, right? They really thought they had the 10 commandments back in the day. Every single grifter on YouTube thought they had the 10 commandments when it came to relationships, right? And then, of course, that economy dried up. After Kevin Samuels died, wasn't none of y'all as charismatic enough to carry the torch. So pretty much that whole grift pretty much died with Kevin. Now, take a look up on the screen. An emotional woman calls in falsely claiming struggle love, 300 views. I gave a big girl a reality check, 400 views, right? Oh yeah, I told this fat woman what to do. Yeah, I told this fat woman about herself, 400 views. That was the grift, right? We gonna tell the women about themselves. That was the grift back in the day, right? I give a heartbroken 21-year-old advice to heal, 200 views, right? A delusional single mother cannot handle the truth, right? 300 views, right? Fake Kevin Samuels knockoff wannabe, from the 99-cent store. Take a look up on the screen. This woman doesn't realize that she's the problem, 400 views. She thinks that she's entitled to be taken to a 400 views, right? Like my man wasn't making no money off the YouTube, brother. My man wasn't making no bread. He probably still had to clock in on his day job and all that, bro. He wasn't making no chicken off YouTube. 200 views, 300 views for the longest. Trash, brother. Garbage. Anyway, take a look up on the screen. A single mother of 3 spazzes out or whatever. A woman wants to know why can't relationships be fair. Oh, 6 steps to find out a woman's body count. Like I said, man, this is the man who has transformed himself into a political strategist in the modern day, and he's gonna call out the Pan-Africanists. We're gonna call the Pan-Africanists to the table, and we're gonna call him out. This the guy who believes he's on the caliber to talk to Pan-Africanists. The type of garbage he was putting out just last year. This charlatan grifter. This knockoff. Man, listen, fake Kevin Samuels, you study Kevin Samuels, you study his swag, and you thought you had what it took, man. The YouTube algorithm said nobody, garbage. Anyway, jump into this clip so we can gotta get an idea of the vibes, before, oh yeah, we're gonna call out the Pan-Africanists. This the type of content he was putting out. Run the clip, I'll be right back.
What's the problem?
I was gonna come up. I was just trying to make sure my phone was working. How you doing?
How you doing? How many children do you have?
I have 2.
How old are you?
You said how old am I? Mm-hmm. I'm 30.
Are you married?
Am I married? You said, am I married?
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
All right, we back. Now, as you can see, that grift was obviously not paying the bills. It was not, listen, he was not getting no chicken off that. So as you can see, take a look up on the screen. This video entitled, I gave a fat girl her flowers and advice on future dating. This video, she thinks men should put her in her femininity, right? Now, take a look up at the bottom. Black Americans are not Africans. 10,000 views. Now listen, that is how a grifter is created. You saw my man was putting up shots in the gym for God knows how long. Everything was an air ball. Wasn't nothing going in. He was missing every single shot. 100 views, 200 views, 100 views, right? Now, I'm going to go at the Africans. 10,000 views. The algorithm said, listen, hold this check. He was like, oh, man, I ain't never going back. Now, take a look up on the screen. The Ghanaians and the South Africans are delineating. 67,000 views in 11 days. Oh, man, listen, he can't go back to talking about relationships anymore. Hell no, you can't go back after that. You can't go back to being a knockoff Kevin Samuels. You gotta be a knockoff Tariq Nasheed now. That's what's paying the bills. 67,000 views. My man ain't never seen a YouTube check that big. Now, take a look up on the screen. Ghana is delineating from Nigerians. 58,000 views in 3 weeks. Oh, man, listen, this month's YouTube check about to be crazy. Next video, the Nigerian immigrants. 31,000 views. No, 37,000 views. My fault. Next video, the Caribbean woman, 29,000 views. Listen, he cannot go back. He cannot go back to talking about whatever he was talking about. Once you come on, you drop a video, 67,000 views, 50,000 views, 30,000 views. This is it. This is the new hustle. This is it. We're going to be banging on Nigerians and Ghanaians. And this is what we're doing now. Because logically, when the YouTube check is going to hit in like a couple weeks, he about to see more money than he ever seen in his life, right? So at this point, whether he has any bad blood or animosity towards Pan-Africanists or anybody else, it doesn't matter because this is what's paying the bills. And this is how a grifter is created. That is why O'Shea Du Jackson put out that video the other day talking about the aunties in the braid shop, because those type of videos, when they hit the algorithm, man, the algorithm is going to reward him, right? Naturally, it's human nature. When he looks at his banking account in a couple weeks and he looks at the check that's going to come from Google, listen, it's never going to stop. He's going to be banging on Pan-Africanists. He's going to be banging on Africans for the next 2, 3, 4 years until it dries up, right? Until it dries up, this is the new wave, right? Take a look up on the screen. African immigrant attacks Black Americans, 20,000 views. The Nigerian woman mocks Black Americans, 19,000 views. Listen, he cannot go back to talking about relationships for 300 views, 600 views. He can't go back. He cannot go back. Take a look up on the screen. Nigerian man, 15,000 views. Like I said, just last year, he was talking about, oh, I told this single mother this. He was making videos, oh, I told this fat woman this. That was the grift. Now it's, oh, the Nigerian man, the African man, 14,000 views, right? That's the grift. Listen, that's the grift. Listen, just like I said, no different than the individuals when Trump first came to power who was walking around every single video with the red cap on their head because they was getting 100,000 views, 200,000 views, 300,000 views, right? See, back in the day, they was living like a peasant. But because of that grift, they were able to finally go out to nice restaurants. They were finally able to put on some nice fabrics on, nice clothes, some nice fabrics. They're finally able to, take that girl out for vacation. They were finally able to, drive Mercedes-Benz, drive Ferrari. It's because of that grift. They were finally able to buy mansion homes, right? So you can't expect certain people to, not engage in a grift when they get introduced to the finer things in life. Listen, this is how a grifter is created by the YouTube algorithm. And he even said it himself. Until I started talking about Africans, until I started promoting division amongst different ethnic groups in the black community around the world, that is when I finally started getting views. That is when I finally started getting recognition for my commentary. He said it himself out of his own mouth. So naturally, if he realizes that I can make money off magnifying the divisions amongst black people around the world, obviously the Pan-Africanists are going to be his natural enemy. That's why he's on video now. The Pan-African is this, like we're the adversary, because we are an obstacle to his grift, because if we are promoting unity and love and camaraderie, and he's trying to make money off us having hatred for each other, the Ghanaian versus the South African, the Nigerian versus the Ghanaian, the Mozambican versus South African, this person versus that person. If that is his cash cow, obviously those of us who are promoting the opposite, love and unity, we're obviously going to be the enemy. We're going to be the natural adversary. That's why he's on video calling us out. Anyway, I'm going to jump into the clip where he admitted, this is my grift. This is what I realize is the true hustle. Run the clip.
Those two videos are like my two most watched videos. Those two videos are like my two most watched videos.
All right, we back. So as you can see, right? As you can see, obviously, do you think this guy really has an issue with Pan-Africanists? No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. But listen, this is what's paying right now. I don't think any logical, black man would have any issue with Pan-Africanists. A Pan-Africanist is simply a black man who loves himself and also loves his brother, loves his women, loves the babies around the world, right? Beyond his own ethnic group, he loves the Jamaican just like he loves the Ghanaian. He loves the South African like he loves the Kenyan. He loves the Nigerian like he loves the Senegalese. He loves the, the Haitian the same way he loves the, whatever, right? We just love our people, right? So I don't think any logical black man would have an issue with that. Like, just speaking like logically, right? If you're a black man, I love my people around the world, wherever they're located. I wish them peace, protection, and prosperity. As another black man, why would you look at that black man as an adversary, right? Now, I know why you do, Ant CEO. You're getting paid to do it. But if we were able to have a conversation privately behind the scenes, I don't think you would logically be able to make an argument as to why you was on the camera talking so aggressively towards the so-called Pan-Africanists like you were doing. I know it's for the dollars, but I know deep down in your spirit, you don't have any true animosity towards a Pan-Africanist, a black man who loves himself, his brothers, his women, his children, his babies around the world, regardless of geopolitical location, ethnic orientation, or religious, spirituality. Why would you have an issue with that particular black man? Not the other black men engaging in all type of nefarious criminal behavior, but the Pan-Africanist. That's the true adversary in your mind. And it's really a shame that, unfortunately, yes, as you can see, you was on YouTube for God knows how long, but it wasn't until you started contributing to that conversation, that divide, right? This black person versus this black person. This black person is the enemy. This black person, this and that. That is when you finally started getting recognition and revenue for your work. And unfortunately, I understand why you're doing it, but I'm just saying that we can see through the grift. That's all I'm saying, brother. That's all I'm saying. Because if you genuinely felt the way you felt, you would have came on YouTube from day one saying what you were saying. When you go to my early catalog, I'm speaking on the same thing I've always spoken about. You cannot go back to my old videos and see I was on this wave and now in the modern day I'm on this wave. It's always been the same content. It's always been the same, geopolitics, social commentary, history, same conversations, and never change. Same stance, never change. At this current moment in time, my channel is not even monetized. So like I say, it's not even for the money or nothing. It's genuine conversation. So brother, like I say, man, I know you're doing it for the money, but you got to look at the bigger picture sometimes too. And just to let you know, the rest of us on this side, we see the grift, right? We see the grift. And when you talk about Pan-Africanists, actually name names. Put a name on it. Because when it comes to me, I put a name on it. I'll call your name out. I'll put your face on the thumbnail. Name names, right? When y'all talk about the Pan-Africanists, stop using that general term. Name the names. Call them out so they can respond. Now, anyways, man, this is Nefakari, that's Salim, back in the Billy. Yes, indeed. Cash App in the description. 21 Cannon's first single off the new project. Pin comment at the top. Subscribe to the Patreon, NTD1814, and I'm gone. Peace.
King of the North, and I feel like Moise. Took a few losses, I'm back on my feet. Selling they soul for trinkets and cash. Right on the front like the leader from Chad. Feel like I see me, I feel like I'm Idris. Walking on gold, I handle my business. Honor, integrity, money, and power. Told me she love me, she want me in power. Told her I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hurt you. Told her come over, come see me in person. Told her come over, I'm sick of the talking. Don't got no time, cause that money be calling. Working all night and I'm up in the morning. Love when I call her, she love my attention. Body and soul, I'm truly protected. Back on that road and big body business. Told her I love her, I told her she mine. Get in that passenger seat, we gon' ride. Back on my mission, that money been stacking. Came from the bottom, I'm steady expanding. Run to the check and I pull up in Vantage. Grabbing the neck from the back when I smash. Don't need no question, they know it's official. Come from the cloth, and my life ain't no fiction. Ride for the scene like I'm army enlist. Gotta stay focused, I'm moving deliberate. Heart of a king and my heart full of pain. Look at my neck and it's flooded with chains. And I got Desaline blood in my veins. Enemy watching, I stay with a flame. Keep it 100, they know how we move. Black on black beam, interior blue. How you gon' leave me? I told you I love you. Pain in my heart, and you knew I was trouble. Enemy watching, they wanna invade it. Hoping my brothers don't never betray us. Been on my mind and I hope I can save us. Look at my flaws, I don't see perfection. But I'm authentic, I'm whipping the 7. Like it's a phantom, I'm still manifesting. Gotta get money, I gotta get paid. Stay on my toes when I'm ducking these snakes. Go to my wrist and the queen on my arm. Feeling my energy, loving my charm. Might go put Desaline face on a piece. Ready for war, that's how you get peace. Know I'm protected, I'm ready for action. When I walk in, I need 21 cannons. Secret location, I'm up in the palace. One of a kind and she loving my manners. One of a kind and I'm telling the truth. His and her Bentleys, I gotta get two. Feeling like future, we never gon' lose. Feeling like Garvey, I'm running the block. Entering off firm and I'm letting off shots. King of the north and I'm up at the top. How you gon' leave me? I told you I love you. Pain in my heart and you knew I was trouble. Enemy watching, they wanna invade it. Hoping my brothers don't never betray us. Been on my mind and I hope I can save us. Look at my flaws, I don't see